most impactful jazz groups share a few things in common. And the first thing is trust. It's a team that trusts one another. Why? Because our professional mandate is to create something new every time we go to work. And that means daily innovation. And if we don't, we get fired. Like seriously, you lose your job if you didn't come up with something new on the bandstand. And so in order to be able to do that, you need a highly functioning team to actually collectively come up with a vision and innovate together. So trust is really important. But that also means that winning teams also have fluid leadership. It's not, there may be somebody who is the star, but even those stars, as soon as the band plays, that pyramidic structure flattens, and it flattens in really unique ways. And I call it a fluid leadership style or a model. Some people call it situational. But the idea is that anybody can step up and be a leader anytime they dare. And we need that. And you need to have that trust and respect from each one of those individuals. So for me, that was it. It was the trust, the respect, and the ability to really hear one another and value each individual on that team in a way, despite their different roles in a band, that we value their diverse voices and what they uniquely have to contribute. And as soon as you have that music's going to be killing. If I choose the wrong folks, then we can't function as a team. So there are two components to it. First of all, I'm looking for experts in what they do, in their instruments. What does an expert in jazz mean? Well, they can play their instruments, they understand the history, they understand the language of the music, and they know so much of the history and have absorbed that and can use that as the raw materials to innovate and take the music forward. But it's not the experts that Malcolm Gladwell used to talk about. He's reneged. But the 10,000-hour experts where you do 10,000 hours and then you're an expert and you're just like, okay, I'm done. No, you never want anybody like that in any organization or any team because that's death. It's innovative death. We want those experts that realize that expertise is developed over a lifetime and they continue to grow because you want them to come into your team and enrich you by the new experiences that they've been having in their own lives. This is New York City, though. This is like the center of the jazz industry, and that defines about 10,000 musicians. And so it's the next level then that makes even a greater difference. And that I'm looking for something that's called a generosity of spirit. Now, what do I mean by a generosity of spirit? First of all, if you think about the definition of what we do, we stand up in front of strangers night after night in jazz clubs all around the world, taking huge musical risks in order to come up with something new. I need confidence. I need people that are confident, and I need people that are assertive in their confidence. They need to have strong egos, but they understand the difference between a strong ego used as a tool as opposed to becoming egotistical. Because as soon as a musician becomes egotistical, it breaks down the team, and then we have to adopt a different model. It's no longer called jazz, it's called pop music. It gets complicated. I need people with empathy. And not just like normal empathy, not even radical empathy, but virtuosic empathy. And not just that, but an empathic intelligence. The idea is that they come night after night onto the bandstand and they can feel where everyone is, emotionally, artistically, musically, philosophically, and use that as the raw materials to create something truly beautiful, which means they not only can feel it, but they understand the appropriate response to it.
It was a blank canvas. We had to completely redo everything that we did and teach and learn. Through that, there was a lot of growth and pain and a lot of triumph too. But for me, early on in my career here, success wasn't about winning games at all. It was, again, going back to the process, and it was how much momentum can we create in each moment we're together, right? That means momentum on the basketball court. That means momentum in the locker room, momentum in the classroom. Because I was like, if we can't be winning in these other parts that are very controllable, the wins and losses, they're going to come. Like, we have to trust the process. We have to trust each other. I have to trust my staff, right? That we're going into the hard. Like, we feel a little bit of that friction. Like, let's go after that. Like, what happened there? Why'd you do that? Ask questions, be curious. That's something that I've learned has been super helpful for teams is if we run from that, if we're afraid to have conflict, right? It's actually not the healthiest thing, because at some point that's going to come back up again. And then what are we going to do in that moment? There's probably going to be some sort of a blow up.